Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, into the Leo D. Mahoney Arena for some Sunday afternoon basketball. We got the Fairfield Stags taking on the Manhattan Jaspers in a must-win game for the Stags. Logan, coming into this game, what does Fairfield need to get this big win?
Well, you need to be efficient on the offense and defensive side of the basketball. You've dropped 5 out of the last 6 games, and you're 6-5 at home, a place where you can have a winning record. And when you're 2-10 on the road and you have a couple of big ones coming up, you got to find a way to get it done here.
Absolutely.
In terms of field goal percentage, you got to shoot the basketball well. They're 13th in the conference. I mean, there's 13 teams. You got to be able to find a way to get good shots, maybe get some paint touches, take the open three, but I don't want to see too many of them today. And against the team that shoots the ball extremely well, they're 12th in opponent field goal percentage, almost allowing opponents to shoot about 50%. So got to find a way to minimize that. Again, 47.1 is Manhattan's is what their opponent total is. I'd like to see that closer to around 30%, and I think you have a successful night.
Couldn't agree more. Let's take a look at the starting lineups today for first the Manhattan Jaspers. We have Shaquille Bender, Jaden Winston, Wesley Robinson, Messiah Gilliard, and Will Sidnor. Player to watch for the Jaspers. For the Stags, it's Jamie Bergens, Braden Sparks, Prophet Johnson, Louis Bleachmore, and Peyton Smith. So, as expected tonight from both teams, of course, the Jaspers been rolling with this lineup all year, so a lot of familiarity on their side. It's been able to help with their consistency. What are you looking for right out the gate, Logan?
Well, the Jaspers have been good all season. Sidnor and Robinson combined for 37 points and 22 rebounds the other night. And then Gilliard and Dinkins added another 32, with Gilliard with 17 and Dinkins with the 15. So, again, chase them off the three-point line. They're the best shooting team in the MAC conference from almost everywhere on the floor. Got to find a way to get it done today.
Absolutely. We'll be back in just a few minutes here for the tip-off. Don't go anywhere. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Logan Arundi, ready to bring this game to you. Welcome back into Leo D. Mahoney Arena. We're getting ready to go here, and before the game got to watch out for Braden Sparks, looking to spark the offense today. Logan, what has he been able to do for Fairfield in these last few matchups?
Well, the Stags have been able to get him good shots, right? 11 points against St. Peter's last time out, then put up 18 against that Sacred Heart cross-rival opponent. And then on the road against Manhattan on the 23rd of January, put up another 15. So, again, if you get him good shots, he's going to knock them down. He's an excellent shooter from three-point line and within 8 feet. So, got to find a way to get some lanes open for him and some open shots, and it could be successful this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Fairfield team, we've seen it when they're able to win games. It's scoring contributions all around, not just one guy. And when Braden Sparks is able to find his shot, it really does help his team. And like you mentioned with that Manhattan game, that was their overtime win on the road against Manhattan. And in that game, they didn't shoot particularly well from the field, but his impact in that overtime period was still really helpful for them alongside a great day from Prophet Johnson. So hoping to see more of that today.
Yeah, I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, you can't send the Jaspers to the free throw line. Best free throw shooting team in the conference at 76.6%. So got to be disciplined, but also be aggressive at the same time. Coach Casey's got to preach that balance throughout the game tonight.
Absolutely. And on the Manhattan side, Will Sidnor, an absolutely dominant player this year. Tell me about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's an excellent shooter. He's long, and he's going to be able to get rebounds, and they're going to want to push out with him. They're going to have him run the floor at a little bit bigger of a stature. He's playing forward, but he can really run that guard as well, and he's on the watch list for MAC Rookie of the Year. So he's excellent on both sides of the floor. But if you get him hot on the offensive side and he gets paint touches, you're in trouble this afternoon if you're Coach Chris Casey and the Stags.
Yeah, I think Casey's just going to have to really put a focus on that defensive pressure. We've seen it with the Stags sometimes where they just allow teams to get inside on them. And I think that's the last thing we want to see, especially early in the game here. Don't want to have any big scoring droughts. I think it's almost every game you see this team go on a 3 or 4 minute scoring drought. I think that's a big thing to focus on today, is just finding the consistency.
Well, you got to get a win here at home too, right?
Absolutely.
You got to be able to find some separation. One thing I want to see is a lot less of Peyton Smith. I want to see him more inside of 12 feet. We've seen him a lot spread out, setting high ball screens, and then he rolls off to the three-point line. I want him to dive a little bit more. Maybe Prophet Johnson or Braden Sparks can get him the ball down low, because when he gets hot, he can really start to flow. He's a guy that works on his confidence, so he gets a couple in the first 5-6 minutes of this game. He can get them down, and once he shoots better, he normally passes better as well. It just gets more in the flow of the game. So, again, I want to see Peyton Smith more in the actions tonight, as he has been all season, but more so in the paint rather than the three-point line.
Yeah, I think you make a great point, especially when this team starts seeing repetition, right, running those same plays. We saw that a bit with the game of Sacred Heart. Down the stretch of that game, they kind of started reading our offense a bit better, adjusted, and it led to that drought, which led to them going on a run, which is why we lost that one in the end. So, if we can see more differences in the offensive setup today, I think that would help them.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, that zipper play we saw in the Sacred Heart game when we were covering it last weekend, it's that forward alignment across the free throw line and the point guard carrying up the basketball, and all they do is set two opposite high ball screens and try to get a three-pointer out of it. You're going to see it. Coach Casey's definitely going to roll it out, but I want to see some more free-flowing basketball. The modern day kind of element of this sport is kind of just 5-on-5, man out, and set a bunch of motion offense ball screens. So, again, I think we're just a little too stagnant on the offensive end. Set screens, get out in transition, play good defense, don't foul, and you have your recipe for success.
Absolutely. See if they're able to get it done tonight as Peyton Smith and Will Sidnor get ready for the tip-off here. Fairfield rocking their white uniforms, Manhattan in the dark green.
Good crowd tonight as well.
Very solid showing today. The tip is off, and Bergen's able to handle it, and it'll be Fairfield ball to start things off. Bergen's at the top of the key, swings it. Johnson holding. Gets the Smith screen. Has two on him. Swings it to Bergens. Bergens inside. Here's Peyton Smith. Backing down into the paint. Spins up with the right, and a nice layup to start.
Smith 2 feet in the paint, and he was 2 feet away from the rim, too. It gets an easy basket to start it off.
And in transition, a quick basket from Shaquille Bender to tie it up quick. Here comes Fairfield on the other end. Bergens on the left wing. Resets it to Bleachmore. Top of the key over to Sparks. Sparks cooling things down on the offensive side here, waiting. Setting up the offense. Very aggressive defense from Winston here. A step back mid-range, hits back iron.
Yeah, not the shot you're looking for. Sparks was the only one to touch the basketball other than Bleachmore. So got to maybe try to find all five guys in one possession.
Manhattan now on the baseline. That ball's thrown away. Tipped, I believe, by Smith. Fairfield coming down there, and Sparks is going to be fouled.
Yeah, that's good. On the defensive side, much better, right? Smith got a little deflection. Sparksy was able to run out with it. And you got to trap them in the corners. Coach John Gallagher's team is really trying to stay in the middle of the floor, except when they're kicking out for three-point line. They run a lot of motion offense with high ball screens with Sidnor and Gilliard to just kind of feed off it. So we'll see what kind of traps Coach Casey can throw out there as the ball's back in with Sparks.
Sparks in the mid-range, tosses it to Bleachmore, resets back. Sparks inside Bleachmore. That one's doubled and stolen by Winston. He'll bring it down the court, behind the back. Pushes in with the right. Bounce pass tipped by Smith and taken here on the other way. Looking to go coast to coast as Sparks finishes the job.
Yeah, 2 layups and 4 points right away. Again, up to a 4-2 advantage early. And again, you're not settling. The one shot we did settle for was off the back iron. So again, you're going to be able to get in the paint. You just got to convert when you're there.
Bender and Winston setting up the offense here. The 1 and 2 of the team. Drops it off up top. Inside paint touch into the corner. Doubled. Swings it out with the left. Winston. 6 to shoot. Peyton Smith defending. Passes out. Fairfield want to travel. Won't get it. Long 3. Up. And rebounded, but a foul.
Yeah, it's a good defense by the Stags. I mean, they got Smith at the top of the key, which is not what you're looking for. That's why Bergens wasn't able to box out Sidnor down low. But, again, not bad. Manhattan definitely got away with the travel, but again, you got to be able to switch on at the last moment. It looked like Jamie Bergens was right in the area that could have switched on. So again, more in-game awareness is needed for the Stags to be successful.
Manhattan will get a second life here on this possession, and they'll reset it up top. Looking to move the ball around here, top of the key. Kind of in that 5-out, a drive up with the left, no good. Rebounded his own basket and put it back in, Will Sidnor.
But the only reason that happened is they're getting switched on again. Got to find a way to get forwards on forwards and guards on guards.
Tied at 4 here early in Mahoney. Stags looking for some momentum. Prophet Johnson for 3. Got it.
Yeah, wide open look, right? Take it if it's wide open. Got it on the right wing. And they're going to give you that. They're going to switch a ton. That is Manhattan. So, again, as Casey comes out with the press here.
Yeah, Stags putting on some pressure here after that 3. Manhattan able to get through it without much of a problem. Bender, top of the key, defended by Bergens. Swings it out to the right. Winston driving in, kicks it off. Sidnor has the first step, kicks it into the corner for 3.
Looked like he stepped out of bounds in the left corner. Yeah, again, good defense. You're getting good rotations. They were practicing that shell drill for probably 15 minutes on those good closeouts. That's what forced Gilliard to step out of bounds.
Now it looks like the Jaspers here are coming with a press of their own. Sparks to bring it up. He'll cut through and drop it off to Johnson. Johnson, Smith wants it. Won't give it to him. Bleachmore up top. Sets it to Sparks. Sparks on the wing. Bergens driving with the left. Outside Sparks tries a 3. No good. Rebound is out. And Johnson handles it. Wants a 3. Bergens, no. Drop off to Smith. Poked away. Got it back. Corner 3 for Bleachmore. Cash.
2 wide open threes, 2 hits, right? The Stags can really shoot the basketball. I would say 4 out of the 5 can hit the 3 consistently right now. And just got to find that way to kick it out because, again, you can get the Jaspers in rotation, but if you let them be stagnant on defense, they're going to be pretty successful on their side of the court.
Winston looking to retaliate here for the Jaspers. Stags on a 6-0 run here. Swinging around the wing, 10 to shoot. Driving in with the right, going up, and fouled. And 1. Nice play by Messiah Gilliard.
Gilliard's going to make some plays down the stretch, and especially in the paint. He's a very small but also very athletic guard going down there. So, again, you're going to have to live with some of that. It's good defense, and I think if you're Coach Casey, you're happy with that possession.
Yeah, I think he's been happy with the game so far. I like the momentum of the game. I like, the majority of the shots that we're taking. Something we just got to keep up here. As Gilliard sets, try to complete the 3-point play, and he will. So that'll make it 10-7. Stags lead with 16:23 to go here. Sparks to take the inbound. Got 2 defenders on him. He'll swing it out here on the press. Bleachmore bringing it up now. And resets to Sparks. Back to Bleachmore. Johnson now. Sparks, top of the key, defended by Winston. A lot of movement here from the Stags. It's Johnson using a Smith screen. The pass in is not going to matter because we got a foul beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, they ran that zipper play at the top again, that 4-across play on the free throw line. They go 3-point line to 3-point line across. Again, you allowed the Jaspers to be stagnant. There's not a lot of motion. You're only using about half of your space on the floor. So, again, got to be able to find a way to find some separation because the Jaspers can do well. They're a little bit bigger than the Stags are. got to find a way to really move an emotion offense or a play that's more free-flowing, like a high ball screen, a double screen, maybe an elevator screen, something like that. You can't go on the cross screens because they switch, two, they're athletic and quick, so you're not going to get a lot of good shots out of it. So the offense that has been run to get to the 10 points, there's been 2 3-pointers and 2 layups. That has all come from dribble ball, penetration, kickouts for threes, and just being able to drive off over commitments on closeouts. So you have to be able to move and let this Jasper team struggle down low and on the wings.
Absolutely. It's almost just the fundamentals here that this team is kind of knocking down right now. Obviously, we need the 3-pointers to keep up if this is going to continue, but everything the Stags are doing right now is a good sign for a team that obviously comes out knowing that this is almost a must-win game for them, sitting at 10th seed right now.
Yeah, you need the game, right? You need it at home. You have a good crowd. Again, the lower bowl is probably 75% capacity. The upper bowl is about half. So you're getting a good crowd, but you have to be able to show them something. That's not going to be even three-pointers. I mean, you're going to knock a couple down, but you're not going to go, 2 for 3 like they are right now. So, again, get in the paint. Peyton Smith got a paint touch in that first possession, 2 feet, jump stop, put it up with the right hand, and was able to result in 2 points. On the other side, on defense, you're just having too many mismatches, whether that's in your favor or not, because the Jaspers, again, are bigger and a little bit more athletic. So they're going to have a mismatch somewhere if there's a guard on a forward or a forward on a guard or vice versa. So you have to be able to find switches. Luke Davidson's been active down there on the sideline trying to call those out, but with Peyton Smith on Gilliard at one time, and you just can't have that because Gilliard's going to beat you with speed, or he's just going to step back and take an 8-foot, 10-foot jumper. So you got to find a way to realize those massive matchups and switch on nice and quick.
As we get ready to come back here, 10-7. Stags lead 4 minutes into this game. It's looking like the Stags are going to come out with the same 5 and Manhattan to match. So we're going to return here on an inbound behind the basket. Stags basketball here.
Looks like Sparks will throw it in.
Sparks looking for Bergens, and he'll find him all the way at the top. Quick pass to Johnson. Drives him with the right, takes a step back mid-range. Won't go.
Yeah, not the shot you're looking for Coach Casey. Bad spacing as you had Bleachmore right in front of Johnson, allowing 2 defenders to contest that shot.
Winston here, defended by Sparks, way up top. Will find his teammate, almost fallen over there, but able to hold himself. Gilliard back up top. Manhattan here, kind of calm on the offense. Sidnor driving in, takes a long mid-range shot. Well contested by Bleachmore. And Johnson grabs the rebound. He'll bring it the other way. Nice pass inside to Bleachmore. Drop off to Smith. And a nice easy 2.
Get him in rotation. You kind of set that high ball screen. You had Bleachmore dive, hand off to Smith, easy layup. Again, you're going to be able to break down this Manhattan defense if you get within the painted area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, love that possession right there. See if they can respond defensively. Up top, they're going to go travel against Manhattan. Fairfield's going to take it.
Good. The Stags didn't try to switch. Johnson went over the screen and it forced Gilliard to be a little bit hesitant in his decision, as it looks like Dinkins checks in. Again, he had a big night with 15 the other night, so although he's coming off the bench, he's going to provide some energy with those pink shoes on, too.
Bleachmore now for the Stags. Setting up the offense. It's Bergens now, top of the key. Drives with the left, makes a spin move. 2 defenders on him. Takes up a shot and it rolls in.
Hey, I'm at 2 feet in the paint, right? I'm sounding like a broken record, but once you get in there, especially against Dinkins, who's the smallest guy on the floor right now, you're going to be able to get some good shots.
Yeah, Dinkins, the 5'10 guard out of D.C. See if they can take use of that here as he's holding the ball right now up against Sparks. Sparks putting the pressure on right here, way behind the 3-point line. Almost got a tip there. Dinkins regroups and resets. 8 to shoot here. The drop-off pass. Driving in. Smith couldn't get it, and a nice finish by Shaquille Bender.
Yeah, they caught Smith in between. He was trying to, play a little bit of off coverage, and that's not going to be successful against a quicker team.
Here's the Stags now. Prophet Johnson, top of the key, looking for some cutters. He'll find Sparks in the paint. One-hand floater. Cash money.
Good. You got to get him in rotation. They ran that elevated flare screen where you had Sparks come on that a little bit back and try to get him with a 3, but again, you were able to get a little bit more motion in the paint on the other side. So
Bergens goes down there on the defensive end as Dinkins drives, can't finish, rebound battled for, and Johnson wins the battle. And they'll slow it down a bit here. Almost ripped. No, it is stolen right there. Going coast to coast and finishing it is Shaquille Bender. Steals 2 points right there. Stags got to watch those passes now as Sparks brings it up here. Drops it off to Bleachmore. Johnson to Sparks. Sparks driving in with the left, puts it up with the right off the glass, and doesn't get the bounce. Smith with the poke on the rebound, can't corral it, and Manhattan will take it up.
It's still a good look, though. Again, another layup opportunity, a little bit further out, but again, it's better than that three-pointer, that 12-footer that you're taking.
In the corner now for Manhattan up top, finding him, cutting man inside, wide open right there.
Smith lost his man in rotation, went to go up on Gilliard, and then it was an easy basket for Robinson.
Fairfield now only leading by just 3 here, 16-3. 12 minutes to go here in half number 1. Long three-pointer for Johnson won't go. Dinkins the rebound.
The 2 Fairfield Stags touch the basketball, and Dinkins is able to take it the other way. Got to have more ball touches by more players in white jerseys.
Dinkins almost last possession right there. Going to get a jump ball as Braden Sparks with a great defensive effort to force the jump as the Stags make a few substitutions, bringing in Mancotti, Jenkins, and Perry.
Yeah, you bring in Perry to match up with Dinkins here, right? Yeah. Perry's going to give Dinkins a handful on defense and offense. He's going to be able to cut like Sparks was doing, but he's a little bit quicker than Sparks is, and hopefully can get some body position and get a couple of those layups that Braden did as well, as Dinkins gets the ball on the inbound.
He'll kick it back out to Gilliard, defended by Johnson. Up top of the key, Sidnor. Right back to Gilliard. Gilliard on the wing, driving in baseline, goes up with the right, and one. And he can tie the game here with a free throw.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, one-on-one, it's not going to be a favorable matchup for the Stags. However, good defense, right? You can live with that shot. Obviously, the 2 points is going to hurt you, and possibly 3, as Gilliard's a pretty efficient free throw shooter, and that's the one thing you can't do. If you're going to give up the points, give them up with a good contest. Like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Manhattan is the top free throw shooting team in this conference. You cannot send them to the line, and as Gilliard's already hit one tonight already. He's off to a quick start with 5, so got to quiet him down.
This would be his second and one of the night. He completes it, and we're tied at 16. Jenkins will take the inbound here. Manhattan's coach calling something out, talking to one of the referees.
It's like a time violation, possibly. Yeah, I mean, again, not bad on the defensive side of the ball. You're forcing the Jaspers to take some tough shots, but you're fouling, right? The Stags are athletic enough to make a good contest and force misses without making contact, and that's kind of been their Achilles heel all season, is making that extracurricular contact and sending teams to the line.
Bergens now for the Stags, bringing it up. Here's Jenkins. Here's Perry. Got to see if Perry has the hot hand here. He's had a great couple last games for the Stags. Big momentum booster as it's a wing 3 for Bergens. Won't go. And Manhattan with the board. They'll bring it up here, not wasting any time. Bender on Perry. And they'll reset it and slow the offense down here. Trying to grab a lead here. With a tie game, just about 12 minutes to go. Top of the key now. Mancotti defending. Inside pass, breaks through for a nice, easy 2. Shaquille Bender, that looked too easy.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more stout if you're Perry, because that's a favorable matchup. I mean, on the other side, it looks like Manhattan is a man on the strong side and weak on the other side, on the weak side of the ball in zone. So, got to find a way to get some paint touches and pass it through the zone.
Bergens with a terrific hop step shot right there off the Mancotti screen, and then it looks like Johnson tried to save it out of bounds, hitting one of the Manhattan players. It's credited as Fairfield basketball, but I think Manhattan's going to...
Looks like it's a media timeout. Manhattan's not happy about it as the referees discuss it down here. So here is the change that looks like Manhattan has made. John Gallagher, experienced second season with the Jaspers, but has been in college coaching for a little bit here. He's gone to a strong side man coverage, so they're going to close out on three-point shooters, and they have gone to a weak side zone coverage. So pretty much what you're going to do on that is as soon as the ball is skipped, you're going to have 2 guys and go and close out once the ball changes from weak to strong, okay? That is to eliminate the backdoor cuts that Sparks and Perry have been able to do to get to the MAC logo in the heat. They're trying to minimize layups and have the Stags shoot three-pointers. Here's how you change that, and here's how you kind of break it down, okay? You're going to have one of the guys from the weak side push, set an off screen, and skip the ball so you get a wide-open shot, okay? Looks like, in my opinion, they're going to go to a full zone here in a second because the Stags aren't going to shoot at a high percentage for the entire night. It's not going to happen. And so you have to do two off-ball cuts. One is in and one is out, so you separate the 2 in the paint and hopefully find a little bit of a driving lane. But again, this is a good move by Coach John Gallagher to try to minimize the Stags from deep because they've hit a couple so far.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying earlier, the Stags started at 2 for 3. We knew that's not sustainable. And here we are on a scoring drought of 2.5. And we talked about that too at the start, right? The Stags, when they hit those scoring droughts, it's really where those runs come in, where they lose games. And of course, you got to credit Manhattan where credit is due. 4 of 4 of their last field goals, not necessarily the easiest shots, but they're making them. So, like you said, we just have to kind of make some adjustments here if we don't want to fall behind too much.
Right, they're 9-0 on that run, and those 4 field goals have been within 16 feet or closer. So you have to try to force them to shoot the three-pointer, which they do shoot well, but you have to play a game of percentages. You can't give them, a shot they may shoot at 60% versus a shot they would shoot at 35%. You have to be able to live. If they hit the 35% shot, fine. Live with it and move on. But I want to see Coach Casey actually jump into a zone because that minimizes the Jaspers getting into the paint and getting closer. So not very common for Coach Casey. He's more of a 5-on-5 guy, but we will see. This could turn into a zone game, though, very quick.
Looks like things are getting ready to roll back here. The Stags bringing out the same 5 except for Rogan, who will check into the game. This will be Manhattan ball. Looking to take it up here, going up against the Stags full court press. They get it into Dinkins, and Gilliard will drop it back to him. Gilliard doesn't really struggle there with the press too much as they take it up here. Dinkins rolling with the offense up to Sidnor. Sidnor up top, swinging around the key right here, driving by Bender. A curl spin up top, long three-pointer. Doesn't go. Front rim right there for Sidnor. Stags have a chance to retaliate here and end the drought. Rogan driving in baseline, turns around. Up top, Bergens with some space. Kicks it to Johnson. McCarty, a screen on the right. He'll go left. Cuts back. Inside, bounce pass McCarty. Working his way in. Gets the ball poked free. And they're calling a travel.
An interesting call by the far official. McCarty actually never picked up the basketball. It got deflected. But, again, you're getting paint touches, which is fine. Again, McCarty against, whether that's Sidnor down there, Gilliard, trying to get somewhere, where you get an advantage. Against Sidnor, you're probably not going to get it. But against, you can get an off switch where you can get Dinkins down there. That would be ideal. So, again, I like the plan for Coach Casey. It just has to be executed a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. Bendor now, 10 to shoot. Defended by Jenkins. He'll go in with the left. Step back. Well defended. Hits back rim. And McCarty secures the board. And the Stags really just trying to get on the board here as Bergens brings it up. Wants the screen from Jenkins. He'll kick it to him. Over to Rogan. Up top, Prophet Johnson. Takes a McCarty's screen. Gets a switch now. Sidnor defending. Up top, Jenkins for a 3 in the lead. No good. Rebound. Johnson inside pass to Rogan in a tie game.
Yeah, good. I mean, you get the Jenkins inconsistent three-pointer, which is not what you're looking for if you're Coach Casey. But, again, good hustle by Prophet Johnson to get the higher percentage shots with Mike Rogan. So, again, this is a good move by Coach Casey is to get Rogan in for the three-pointer and some of those higher percentage shots inside as well.
Dinkins now on the wing. Takes a screen, drives in with the left, kicks it out to Sidnor. Steps in, opts for the 3, and he's got it.
Yeah, Chris Jenkins got to be a little bit more solid there. He's going to drive inside, give him a step, right, and then you're able to contest. He just gave him too much space.
Bergens off to Johnson. Stags want to retaliate. Johnson works his way into the paint, steps back, front rim. Mancotti the rebound. Back in, rejected by Sidnor. Up top, another chance for Rogan. No good. Mancotti the board. Another life for the Stags here on this possession. Rogan takes the Mancotti screen, doubled inside. Mancotti in the paint, has the matchup, poked loose. Bergens has the ball and puts it in.
Yeah, Prophet Johnson, really good to get inside the paint there. That's the best thing that Prophet Johnson has done. He's put in a couple baskets, but he's spacing the floor. Mancotti's got to do a little bit better job of controlling the basketball. He's trying to make a move before he actually corrals it. So, again, just settle down for the freshman from the Dominican Democratic Republic of Congo, and you're going to be okay.
Sidnor, defended by Rogan. Likes the matchup, works baseline, drives underneath, kicks it out. Three-pointer for Bender. Too strong. Bergens the rebound, and he's fouled.
Yeah, we got bailed out with the foul there. Jamie Bergens was able to use his athleticism, but we got caught in rotation pretty good as Jenkins actually came down on the weak side to try to guard Sidnor because we were a step behind with Mancotti at the top. So, again, you can't love that possession if you're Coach Casey because you got a wide-open three-pointer out of it.
Jaden Winston subs back in for the Jaspers here. That will send Gilliard to the bench. As the Stags trail by 1 here, 21-20 with 8:30 to go in this back-and-forth game here at the Leo D. Mahoney Arena.
Yeah, you got to take advantage with Gilliard on the bench here. Got to get some shots in, more importantly, some paint touches, as they're going to go a little bit smaller, the Jaspers are.
Kick the ball into the corner for Johnson. Trying to get in the paint. Here's Mancotti. They'll reset it up top. 14 to shoot. Bergens swings it to Johnson. Defended by Sidnor. Takes a step back. Thought about a three. Inside Jenkins. 6 to shoot. Back up top. Prophet Johnson for three. Laces it.
Okay, good ball movement as Bednar couldn't get back as he went to double Chris Jenkins. So those are the shots you're going to get when you get the Jaspers in rotation.
Winston for the Jaspers, looking to keep their hands hot. They've been shooting it well here, but the Stags able to be on top right now, 23-21. Pass inside, wide open. A two-hand slam for Will Sidnor right there, just too easy.
Looks like Marko Lubic is going to check in, the 6'10 freshman from Croatia, at the next stoppage, and Reich will check in as well for the Stags.
Johnson at three-point line, resets it. It's Jenkins, passes inside. Mancotti was doubled there, and a foul is called against Manhattan.
Yeah, much better by Mancotti as we go to another media timeout. Mancotti was able to get the smaller defender on him and really use his length and athleticism inside to really make a play on the basketball, right? You're going to get paint touches. You're going to get guys in rotation for the Jaspers because one of their weaknesses on defense is switches. They switch too quickly or they don't do it quick enough. Their communication isn't great. The Stags, if they're able to get them into the paint, get a couple of jump stops, take it out, rotate a couple of times, the Jaspers are really going to struggle. And on the other side, I would love to see Coach Casey go into his zone because we're getting beat right off the first dribble, and it's leading to rotations that we can't simply recover from. So, again, Sidnor got an easy dunk and then a three-pointer on the other side. I believe that was Bender. So, again, this is good. You know, you're tied up with the top shooting team in the conference at home, but it can be a lot better with a couple of quick tweaks by Coach Chris Casey.
And I think that's a great sign, right? I mean, there's things that we still want to fix. We're not playing perfect, but we're still tied. Right. So if you can use these next 7 minutes and make those adjustments heading into halftime, I think the Stags, of course, primarily a team that when they're leading at halftime, that's when they win the majority of their games, and of course at home. So that's the combo you want to hit right there if you're the Stags, in pretty much a must-win game.
Yeah, it's a must-win game, but also you have to find a way to really kind of block that out in your mind. Of course you got to win. It's February. You got to win basketball games at this time of the year, but just do the little things right, and you're going to win those games naturally. I think we're a little bit tense on the floor right now. We're not, really playing in a free-flowing style of basketball. In the first couple of possessions when we were on that 10-4 lead, we were playing free. We weren't running anything that was forcing the Jaspers to be too stagnant. So, again, just rotate the basketball, and you can beat this Jasper team by, 10, 15 points if you can get them in rotation.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, we need a lot of touches, right? Those possessions that the Fairfield Stags come down with, and it's only one guy or two guys touching the ball, those are usually the worst quality shots that we end up taking, and we haven't been making them either. So if we can come into every possession with that mindset, I think that's going to kind of change things up.
Yeah, and really the only time I've seen it was when Chris Jenkins took a 25, 26-foot shot. I mean, with no other person touching the ball other than Sparks. So, again, I think if you're Chris Jenkins, you've got to find a way to really settle into this basketball game. You haven't been in the flow too much lately. You've been playing more of a three-point specialist type thing. And he can shoot the three ball, don't get me wrong, but he's excellent down low. He's excellent with getting those 2 feet in the paint and reading what the defense gives him. So, again, I hope he, dives. Peyton Smith's been doing a little bit better job, and when Smith was on the floor, it was easy spacing and it was easy buckets. So, again, Chris Jenkins is not got to limit those three-pointers. I only really want to see 1 or 2 from him for the rest of the night.
Right, and, he hasn't been able to play every game this year, so maybe that consistency is hurting him, trying to get himself back into the flow. Could be part of the reason for the shots. But, yeah, like you're saying, you can't start a possession with just, a shot without getting the ball moved around. As we get ready to come back here, it'll be inbounded behind the basket here, Stags basketball. Looks like it'll be Bergens to throw it in.
Looks like Mancotti's going to get the ball on the post here, and then there's going to be an elevator screen for Bergens here.
Got Reek in the game here. As Jenkins tosses it to the corner, Bergens is doubled. He'll step through, loses control. Johnson helps him out. Back to Bergens in the corner. Looking for some space. 8 seconds to shoot. Making a move. Steps back. Lost control right there on his own. Winston takes it on his own. Coast to coast. Left to right. Up and in.
Yeah, the Stags aren't going to beat themselves one-on-one. You can't. You got to be able to move the basketball, and you must space the floor. There was 3 guys within 5 feet. So Bergen's got to do a lot better at controlling the offense and using his experience to really use that and read the game.
Bergen's trying again here. Holding it top of the key. Swings it to Reek. Over to Johnson. Finds an inside man. Jenkins working his way into the paint. Drops it off. Johnson curls it around. Beautiful lay.
That play was made by a Johnson cut into Chris Jenkins 2 feet in the paint. He was able just to dump it off. He read the defense like normal.
Tie game, 25-25. Dinkins here for the Jaspers. Kicks it inside. Mercati defending. Up top, a three-pointer. No good. Every Stag was ready for that rebound. Johnson brings it down. The kick to Reek. Reek thought about the transition three. Got him on the fake. Puts it up and rolls out. Thought he had it right there. Would have been a beautiful play. As Dinkins bringing it up here. Johnson defending. He'll take a screen to the right. Tries to step through. Works his way into the paint. Ball is tipped. Maintains it and kicks it back out. And the Jaspers will reset their offense with Winston now. Cutting to the left. Kicks it up top. Bender. A step back three on Jenkins. No good.
Much better by Jenkins. He was just able to stay square and make a good contest on that shot.
Here's Reek in transition. Inside Jenkins on the baseline. Guarded by two. Out to Reek. Makes a nice fake. Swings it around here. Bergens wants a screen. Mancotti will give it. He'll go the other way. And they're keeping it up top here. Can't find the ball in the paint. 10 to shoot. Johnson finds Jenkins. He's doubled, tripled. Ball ripped loose. Johnson finds it. Over to Mancotti for a two-hand slam.
Yeah, a little bit messy of a possession, but it was one that had 3 paint touches, and you're going to get a good result with the Mancotti slam after that.
Another play where Prophet Johnson is in the right place at the right time due to just great positioning by him.
He's excellent at spacing the floor, and that's been his best attribute to the Stag so far, on top of the scoring this year.
Jaspers here trying to combat the defensive chance here from the crowd as they're going to get Fairfield on a foul there, as it looked like a nice free basket was incoming there.
Yeah, it was a nice inadvertent foul by Jenkins as he got his feet tied up with Lubitsch. So, again, that's the thing you can't do. You can't switch off that. You got to be able to fight through that screen and not allow Lubitsch to get into the paint with 2 feet, and that was going to be a slam if no foul was called.
So the Stags lead 27-25. 5 to go here to be Winston to inbound behind the basket for the Jaspers here. Looking to find a bucket here. Haven't scored in the last 2 minutes. They'll kick it outside to Lubicic. Goes up top of Winston. Takes a screen. Driving baseline, and the Stags swallowed that up right there. Here comes Sparks the other way. Kicks it. Reek. Transition three. Can't get it to go.
Yep, that's not the look you're looking for if you're Coach Casey, right? You got to be able to get a paint touch in transition. As looks like Gilliard's going to hoist from the right wing and knock it down. So, again, you got to be able to get a paint touch in transition when you're up 3-on-2.
There's Reek again. See if he holds on to the ball this time. He will. Kicks it over to Jenkins. Johnson directing the offense. Jenkins in the paint. Swallowed by 2 up with the left. Couldn't get it. Mancotti had it, and it was stripped away as Dinkins goes the other way. Kicks it. Full speed. Winston coming in.
It's like Reek was in position there and got called for a block as Winston hits the parquet floor hard. So, again, you can't let that happen as the Jaspers are not great in transition, but they're quick. Smith's going to check back in the game here in a second. So, they're doing exactly what we're not. We're settling for 3-pointers in transition. They're getting into the paint and forcing fouls. And, again, that 75+% free throw percentage is able to be tested at the free throw line as it looks like Winston's going to take 2 here.
Yeah, these are just going to be their 3rd and 4th free throws of the night. Pretty silent night for the whistle. Fairfield's had a few games this year where they've relied heavily with their free throw shooting, but haven't been sent to the line tonight. So we'll see if that changes as Peyton Smith will check in. Mancotti takes his seat. And we got 4 minutes to play here, and heading into halftime, these are a big 4 minutes. Winston can't get the second one, and it'll be 29-27.
I'd argue this is crunch time for the Stags. It's not really the last 4 minutes. It's the last 4 minutes in the first half. And they've really lived and died in games this year when they haven't played well or have played really well in those last 4 minutes as they turn it over here.
And that'll be a nice, easy layup for Winston in transition right there as Coach Casey calls a timeout. He looks furious with Braden Sparks going right up to him.
Well, as he should be, right? You can't dribble through a zone defense like they've been doing, right? John Gallagher has been doing an excellent job. He went from man coverage for the first 10 minutes, then he went to half and half of man and zone, and then he was able to integrate a full zone coverage defense. So you have to be more, you got to be able to read the game more. Braden Sparks is a junior at this point, and you have to use your experience And it's a simple read. If we're able to see it up here, you got to be able to see it on the floor as well. So, again, Sparksy's just got to find a way to settle in, and he had a great first run, and now he's in the second run struggling a little bit because he hasn't seen that zone yet. So, again, I think we're going to get to the line more, and we're going to get some better touches. It's just a matter of adjustments now for Coach Casey.
Yeah, and I think we're just looking to see more involvement from everyone on the boards. I mean, if you take a look at the rebounds, Prophet Johnson has 7 to his name. Guys like Peyton Smith doesn't have any. Brayton Sparks doesn't have any. I mean, that's over half of the team's total from just Prophet Johnson tonight. I think he's been great so far. Definitely been their best player with 10 points on 4 of 7 shooting. I do like a lot of shots that I think we've been taking, but I think we just need to see more people crash the rebounds because the plays that Prophet Johnson are making are winning plays, right? He finds himself in the paint, cutting. He gets that rebound. Like, we need more of that from the Stags.
Yeah, and Johnson's been the best player on the floor. He's plus 16, and there's a reason why. He hasn't put up his 25 points. He's put up 10, but he's got a bunch of rebounds, and he's coming off a game where he didn't have too many points. He had 9 when they were playing St. Peter's, but he had 10 rebounds. He's making winning plays, and again, it's the non-tangibles that have been the big thing for Prophet Johnson this year in his Stags career, right? He's been able to move the basketball. He's able to cut off the basketball. Now it's just a matter of other people being able to read what he does and use it efficiently. Chris Jenkins did a great job in that one possession where he was able to get 2 feet in the paint. He had Johnson coming from the top, and he gave it off for a layup. So, again, we're at the point of the season now where you're going to have to make those reads more consistently.
Looks like the Stags are going to run out the same group here they had on the court with Reek, Smith, Sparks, Jenkins, and Bergens. So running with the same guys right here. See if Sparks is able to take the advice he got from Coach Casey, settle down his dribbling, and try to set the offense up here for success in these last 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Brayton Sparks has been excellent all year, right? He's from Georgia, right? He played college. He played at Mercer. Then he played at Indian Hill, community college. So he's played a lot of college ball. He's just got to be able to settle down and just let him play, right? When he's been able to play and Coach Casey's allowed him to get extended run, he's been excellent. So, again, just settle down if you're Sparksy as he has the ball right now against Dinkins and really settle into this game.
Sparks defended by Dinkins, top of the key. Trying to get the offense settled here, looking to get on the score sheet. He'll drive in, kick it back out. Jenkins has a 3, fires it off. Couldn't get it. Rebound. Reek was going for it, but I think they're going to get him on the over the back there.
Yeah, it sure is, right? And that's not a shot. Like I think I mentioned, I want to see Chris Jenkins take 1 or 2 more 3-pointers at the most. He just used his 1, right? And it wasn't a good shot. Again, there was Sparks brought up the basketball, gave him to Jenkins once he got in the paint, and he was covered 75%, I'd argue. So, again, you got to be better than that if you're Chris Jenkins. And he made 2 or 3 great plays in the 4 minutes he was in this first run. So you got to be able to be more consistent.
Stags here trying to hype up their team with the defense chance. They need to stop here. They're on the other side of a 6-0 run. It's the Jaspers up top. Sidnor lost control of the dribble there. He'll get it back. A swipe from Bergens, not good. A 3-pointer for Gilliard. He knocks it down and stays perfect on the night. 4 for 4. That's 12 points.
And you live with that if you're Coach Casey. Good defense, just a better shot from Gilliard.
Lead starting to grow here. Stags need an answer. Dribbling in. Prophet Johnson finds Smith, and a foul there as the pass deflected. I think they got a piece of Smith's hand.
Yeah, well done by Peyton Smith. He got Lubitsch back down right into the restricted area and able to get a foul. As, again, good move by Coach Casey as well. He's going to get Jenkins out of here. And Jenkins is going to see more time as Bleachmore is going to check in for him. You just got to find a way to get quality minutes over ones that are just quantity.
Sparks on the inbound. He'll toss it way back for Bergens there, the safe option. And they'll set it up with Johnson on the wing. Takes a step through. 3 defenders swarm him. He'll kick it out. Bergens on a low pass here inside. That one's swiped at, and the ball's on the floor. Dinkins able to corral it, and the Jaspers have it.
Yeah, Smith's got to come to the basketball.
Nice pass back and forth. Gilliard tries to stay perfect. He'll miss that one. And the Stags here need a basket. Transition pass inside to Smith. 2 defenders on him. Looking for some help. Has Bleachmore in the corner. Able to save him. Up top, Sparks on the wing. Resetting things here for the Stags. 2:20 to play. Stags trail 34-27 and need a basket here. Haven't scored in the last 3. Here's Johnson. Dribble drive in. 2 defenders on him. Puts it up and gets a foul.
Yeah, that was a newer play from Coach Casey. They had an elevated ball screen that Bleachmore set for Johnson. So that was a good look. It got anything at the top of the ball screen or at the top of the key, you're going to be pretty successful in as Johnson gets a foul call. One thing I've noticed here as the game has gone on is Smith and Moncati need to keep the ball higher. They both have length. One of them's 6'2", one of them's 6'2", 6'10", one of them's 6'11". You got to keep the ball high because the Jaspers are sending two guys. They're going to have one primarily guard him square, and then they're going to have another at the top because they're playing that zone, try to strip the ball away, and we turned it over a few times doing so. So got to be stronger with the ball if you're Smith or Moncati.
Johnson knocks down the first. Robinson will check into the game for the Jaspers here in these final 2 minutes. These are the Stags' first free throws of the night. As Johnson looks to knock down both and send him to 12 points here in this first half. Can't get it to go. It'll stay 28-34. And the Stags here in this full press. Winston, bounce pass to Dinkins. Dinkins will drive to the right, almost trapped right there. He'll throw it across to Gilliard, who's got space. He goes for the poster and wasn't successful there. Enough defense by Smith, but there's going to be a foul on the play.
Yeah, that's a tough call for Peyton Smith. Chris Casey not happy about it. And it looked like Coach Smith went up pretty straight on, but anytime you're going to get even a little bit of contact on one of those poster attempts plays, as Smith brought his hand down, as we're seeing on the video board, you're going to get called just for the protection of the offensive player. Gilliard goes back to the line. He's had 2 free throws so far, completed 2 and 1s. Let's see what he can do with 2 shots as he knocks down the first.
I mean, like most points from Gilliard today have been very ambitious points. You bring up those 2 and 1s, both of those going through contact. Besides that transitional 3 he took, he has been just jumping into Stags on the offensive side as he knocks down both, and that'll bring the lead to 8 here for the Jaspers. Braden Sparks lost the dribble, brings it back, tries to find some help. It's stripped by Dinkins, drops off to Winston, and that is a foul. That one looked questionable. It looked like Winston completely shifted the momentum of his body to the right there to get that contact, but he's sent to the line.
Yeah, if you're Coach Casey, you're not happy, right? They're just trapping at the top of the zone. They're going to bring 2. They're going to pinch it, and then they're going to get 2 guys to rotate off, and then you run out in transition and get easy points as Winston's going back to the line for another pair of free throws.
Sparks, that is his 4th turnover of the night. So if you're Sparks, I think you just have to change the approach. I mean, the trap is getting him, not necessarily from, as the second free throw is missed by Winston, not necessarily the immense pressure, but it's almost sometimes his own mental errors on just dribbles or where he's driving through it. That ball's almost stolen. But they'll get it up court this time. And Sparks needs something for this offense here. Top of the key. They're giving him space and time. Up top, Johnson drives in the paint, floats it with the right, just short, batted out, and Winston grabs it. And they'll try to extend the lead here to the Jaspers to double digits if they can get one here. Winston, defended by Sparks, not giving him any room to work. He'll drop it off, and they'll reset to Dinkins, top of the key. Over to Robinson. On the corner, finds a cutting man inside. Smith defending. Ball is being ripped for by Johnson. He'll get the call. Stags ball on a jump ball.
Yeah, you got to feed off this possession. You can't go into the half down 9 points. You've got to be able to cut it to maybe 5 and get some confidence. And the halftime messages we're going to talk about in 57.6 seconds is you've got to be calmer. The Jaspers you're just playing into their hands. They want you to make those errant passes. They want you to try to force things. And we're doing just that. So, again, being able to make plays that are going to be successful as Sparks goes down to the floor. Chris Casey not happy about it. And, again, I believe that's going to put Stags in the bonus, so they'll shoot 1 and 1. So, again, you just got to be able to be calm. This Stags team is experienced. There's only one first year on this team, and there's a few graduate students sprinkled in there as well. So you got to be able to use your experience, calm down, talk about how you're going to attack that zone, put in some buckets, and get back this game into more of a manageable time constraint, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. This next minute is crucial for the Stags here. Trailing by 9. Can bring it to 7 if Sparks can knock down these free throws. He's just got 4 points on the night, 2 of 5 shooting. First free throw knocks it down.
This might give Sparksy some confidence, right? going to hopefully go into the break with 2 free throws made, a couple of field goals. Just got to find it a little bit on the dribbling and passing side of things.
Hits them both. Stags are at 30 here and need to stop here as Dinkins will bring it up. We'll swing it over Gilliard. Bergen's defending him right at that half-court line. Stags giving no space right now, trying to put as much pressure as they can on the Jaspers as they drop it off to Dinkins right at the logo. Taking their time here. 10 to shoot. Winston driving into the paint. Puts it up off the glass and in right there for quick 2 points.
It's that drop coverage as there's 20 seconds left. You can't play drop coverage against a team that's quick and that can really shoot that floater well.
Sparks will hold on to the ball here for the last shot of the first half. Can bring it to 6 if they hit a 3. It's Johnson driving in, kicks it up, moves it over. Sparks for 3. Got it! And a timeout taken.
So Sparks has got the last 5 Stags points. He's been great. He's got 9 points now. Hopefully this gives him some confidence that we were looking for. There's 2 seconds left in the half. Looks like John Gallagher is going to draw something, more of a full court heave, if you will. You can't advance the ball in college basketball. So my thing for the Stags going into the second half is you're down 6 points. You've allowed less than 40 to a team that's one of the best shooting offenses in the conference and is top ranks in the country as well. So you're going into a breakdown, which has never been good. However, you're really in striking distance to make a run in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been so many mistakes that this team has made. To still be in striking distance of this game is a great thing. They've had enough good runs. They've had enough good plays to stay in this run. So curious to see what the Jaspers draw up here as they're getting ready to inbound. Like you said, it's going to be full court here. Gilliard, he's got 2 seconds flat on the clock to try and make something happen. Trying to get some last-second adjustments here from his coach.
Yeah, I expect this ball going to Lubitsch down low to try to get something on Bleachmore. Looks like they're going to set a screen down low, and it's going to be an opposite screen Winston might come across for the Jaspers.
And the inbound is in, tipped away by Johnson. He wants to call.
Looks like there's going to be 0.8 on the clock. The referees are going to send both teams to their benches to review for time purposes. So you're going to have 0.8 seconds. In the NBA, at least, you usually have 0.3 to get the ball up for it to really count. And so I'm expecting a lob play. You're going to have Gilliard in there. You're going to have Lubitsch. You're going to have a bunch of different players. You're going to have Robinson down low as well. So I expect a lob opportunity. The one thing the Stags cannot do is foul. With however many seconds, I'm guessing around 0.8. You cannot foul on a lob attempt. You can't send them to the line to push that 40 threshold. I think my magic number for tonight's game is 62. Whatever team can get there first is going to win this basketball game, just for the amount of three-pointers that are being wasted and paint touches. There's not too much in the mid-range, so got to be able to end this half on a strong note.
Absolutely. And, yeah, like you said, this play right here, it's more work for the Jaspers than for Fairfield. All you got to do for Fairfield is just avoid that foul, right? And if we have the 0.8 like you predicted, it's going to be a tough setup here for the Jaspers. You might see Lubitsch going up there. Number 21, he is 6'10". So see if they find him. If they're able to get a play going. You know Prophet Johnson's going to be in the area, just always causing some kind of havoc. Looks like 1.1 is what they're going to settle with. So
yeah, I think that's generous. Looks like the ball went out of bounds. Maybe at 1. Again, a little bit harder for the clock operator to stop that. So 1.1, it's a little bit different of a story. They're in that 4-box set right now. They're probably 2 up, up screens, maybe some down screens as well, just to try to free somebody up.
Gilliard to inbound. Looking for Winston. He'll drop it up. Lubitsch trying to get it over the back. And a foul. It's going to go Fairfield way. 0.3 remains on the clock right there. Lubitsch just tried to completely reach over there.
Yeah.
And that one won't work as they'll roll it in and toss one across for fun. As that wraps up our first half of basketball here at the Leo D. Mahoney Arena. The Jaspers lead the Stags 39-33. Still anyone's game, but we saw some things we loved. We saw some things we didn't really like from the Stags in that first half.
Yeah, I think there was more positive than bad for the Stags in the first half. The only real negative for me is you've already you've forced 7 turnovers. You're on pace for 14 turnovers and against the team that shoots the ball in an extremely effective rate, and that's just not going to get it done. And you got to force turnovers as well as they've forced 7. So, again, if you can win that battle, I think you're in a good spot. And the Jaspers, you should know they're coming out in that zone coverage again, and they're shooting more at a against this Fairfield dance team side of things. So they're going to have a little bit more of a struggle, if you will. And if you're the Stags, just get easier shots. When they got the ball in the paint, they were just able to put it up and in. They haven't really missed anything that is considered a bunny or an easy shot. And again, you got to just defend the three-point line a little bit better. I mean, you had Gilliard hit a couple in the first half. He's really the one that's going to hurt you. And so Robinson not going to go out there as well. So they've minimized Dinkins pretty well. Been able to have a very efficient half on the defensive side. Obviously, 39 points is not the greatest, but you've sent them to the line too many times. So don't foul, don't turn over the basketball, and you're going to be on a successful road to victory here in the second half.
Absolutely. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the second half of play in 15 here. Don't go anywhere on WVOF. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Mona Rundy. We will be right back. We return from halftime here. Stags trailing by 6, looking to come out strong here in half number 2. Logan, what are the keys to success for the Stags?
Good defense, right? Got to be able to rebound the basketball, allow the Jaspers to take those poor shots, and then on the offensive side, break that zone coverage, move the basketball around properly. Should be 4 or 5 passes before a shot even goes up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're ready. What I'm curious to see is how Braden Sparks comes out of this halftime. We're talking about it at half, but Coach Casey really got adamant at Braden Sparks. Don't see that every day from him. He went right up to him after one of the turnovers there late in that second half. So curious to see if he comes out with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. We did see he got that 3 to end the second half, so that was a great sign. He's got 9 points today on 3 of 6 shooting.
Yeah, I think Coach Casey made it more as a positive point. Braden Sparks is so good, and he has so much potential that, it's lower than his standard to make those plays that he was making. So I think that's what Coach Casey was talking about. Obviously, it's a little bit more challenging to assume when you're not right there. But, again, Coach Casey's that type of guy that's going to be able to motivate you to do well. And I think you're right. When you say a chip on your shoulder, I think he's going to come out at the half gun blazing.
See if the Jaspers are able to switch their game up. Surprisingly, matching the Stags in turnovers, it's 7 apiece. That's not what you think the story of this game has been if you looked at the stat sheet. But we'll see if teams are able to clean it up, as it'll be Manhattan ball on the sideline to kick things off. Half number 2, ready to roll, and we're in as Winston will take the ball up here for the Jaspers. Kicks it off to Sidnor. A little bit of a quiet night. See if he picks it up in half 2. Winston drives him with the right. 2 on him. Step back. And he'll reset over to Sidnor. He's trying to get hot. Peyton Smith on him. He'll drive in. Push through. Bergens with a swipe. Puts it up. No good. And tipped back. And a second life here for the Jaspers. Bender swings it to Gilliard. Works through 2. Smith had a hand on that one. And it'll be a jump ball call.
Yeah, I think Smith got lucky there. He had his hand around Gilliard's upper neck, it looked like a little bit there. So, again, if the Stags can get the officials on their side as well, they're going to have a good half. But also, you got to make plays and put the game in your hands rather than the officials.
Sparks to bring it up now. See if he has a bit of a pep in his step as they break the defense right through. And they'll kick it top of the key. It's Bergens. Defended by Winston. Winston threw the leg out there. Couldn't get a piece of it. Leachmore settles for the long 3, and that won't go. Back iron. And got hit in the face.
That's not what you're looking for, right? The Bleachmore three-pointer obviously can shoot it a little bit, but you got to move the basketball, like we mentioned, at the top of the half.
Jaspers looking to take advantage of that shot selection here. Top of the key, it's Bender. He'll take a screen. Reset Gilliard. Swings it into the wing. Right back to Gilliard. 10 to shoot. Swing it over. Winston driving in. 3 defenders on him. Puts it up and gets a foul.
Yeah, again, got to be able to minimize the drives, right? Winston's super quick. He's going to be able to get into the paint, and Sparks has to be a little bit stronger, right? It's good on that first offensive possession when they move the ball a little bit. He cut a couple of times that wasn't being able to be seen, so but you can't send him to the line as Jaspers are a 76% free throw shooting team as he knocks down the first. So, again, if you're the Stags, not a bad start. You're a minute and 13 seconds into this thing, and you're only giving up 1 point so far.
Yeah, you just got to limit these drives. You've seen it from Bender. You've seen it from Winston. You've seen it from Gilliard. This team is not afraid to come at you as that second free throw misses, and Johnson will bring it up. And defender from behind is able to get the pass off in time. A swing around. Bergens for 3. Sticks it.
Yeah, that's the guy you want shooting the three-pointer, right? Good ball movement, 3 passes. Last one came from Bleachmore, who's an excellent passer. So, again, able to get that ball right in Bergen's shooting pocket, and it resulted in nothing from that.
Sidnor wants an answer in the corner 3, won't get it. Stags got to take advantage of this right here. Might have been an ill-advised shot as they'll bring it up. Johnson swings at the corner. Bleachmore got space, doesn't shoot the 3. He'll reset to Johnson. Johnson takes the Bleachmore screen to the right. Holding it here at the top, left to right. Right through the defensive. Wow, amazing finish by Prophet Johnson. He just cut the sea of defenders right there. As on the other end, quick transition basket won't go for the Jaspers. Tried to put that one up. Wesley Robinson couldn't get the bunny. And the Stags are making some noise here. Down by 2. Bergens bringing it up. Swings it. No for 3. Bleachmore. Long 2 won't go. Rebound. Fought for. Maintained. Johnson. Nice finish.
Winning plays from Prophet Johnson underneath. Bleachmore was smart enough to take the 3, but I even thought he could have got deeper. So, again, I think Bleachmore's got to read the game a little bit better and really just be more aggressive down low, and he's going to be pretty successful.
Jasper's trying to answer the run of Fairfield here. The game is tied all of a sudden. A 7-0 run in the last minute. Stags have some life. 40-40, 17 on the clock. Jasper's stuck outside the key. It's Bender, defended by Sparks, gets a screen, kicks it inside. 2 defenders swarming, tried to grab it, kicks it out for 3 in the corner. It's good. Jaden Winston with an answer.
Yeah, you live with that if you're Coach Casey, right? Again, you got caught in rotation just a little bit, but you made the shot hard. We talked about making sure they're shooting those lower percentage shots, and that's exactly what happened, and Jaspers did their job and made it.
Bergen swims through the defense, passes inside. It's Johnson, puts it up and in for 2. Johnson's got 17 now, putting himself in positions to succeed. Here's Winston for the Jaspers. He's got that explosive first step. You got to watch that if you're Sparks, but he'll kick it off to Gilliard. And up top to Bender, swings it around. Pass inside to Gilliard, cutting in, finishing with the left hand for 2.
Yeah, Gilliard and Johnson going back-to-back with 2 good cuts inside. So, again, the inside the game's going to win it. The three-point shot's going to fall every so often for both teams as Winston gets the steal. Sparks doesn't even get test on the other hand, and right-hand layup for Winston. So, again, you got to be able to win that battle in the motion on the offensive side of the ball.
That's a beautiful play right there by Winston. Just read the pass. Stags couldn't really fix it, and just like that, they bring their lead back up to 5. So a game of momentum right here. Stags got to find theirs as the ball is poked loose on Bleachmore. It'll stay with the Stags.
Yep, the ball's too low to the ground. Bleachmore, tall guy. I mean, he's been able to be consistent with holding the ball up in the air all year and just using his height to his advantage. He's 6'7", right? He was going against a defender that was a little bit shorter, and you got to be able to pass out of that. One of the things I think the Stags got to fix is their back is towards the basket too much. We saw it with Bergens when they were breaking the press initially in the half. He had a wide open lane to the hoop, but since he was facing towards the Manhattan basket, he wasn't able to make a move or a pass out of that. So just got to be a little bit more socially aware. And again, you're within striking distance as the Jaspers are on another run. They've hit the last 3 field goals of theirs. So got to be able to minimize it back on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and again, it's just with all of these mistakes the Stags are making, they're still in the game. So, I mean, obviously the chances are going to run out as the clock winds, but we saw what they were able to do with that 7-0 run, what this team is capable of if they play their cards right. But, of course, Manhattan been switching up a lot today, so it's just about who can win that chess battle. And we have a timeout, see if they're able to come out of it strong. I'm looking to see if they bring Mankati back out for a bit of, more paint presence because they've been beating us still with those cuts inside, and I like him for that role on the team.
Yeah, I think Mankati can do a great job. He's got to be able to use his experience throughout the year and build upon that. One thing he's done is turn the ball over a couple of times because that ball is too low. He holds it higher, and he can make a lot of good plays, especially he's got a great drop step that he uses occasionally, and that kick-out pass is excellent. So let's not be remiss. The Stags have hit 4 of the last 5 field goals as we have a full-court cut happening here at Leo D. Mahoney Arena. So, again, both teams 7 of 8 in the last couple of minutes of shooting here. So got to be more consistent if you're the Stags to win this game. And the Jaspers really don't have to change too much. One thing if I were to do, if I'm Coach John Gallagher, is to be a little bit more stout on the rebounding. We're getting a couple of opportunities on the offensive glass, but other than that, smooth sailing for Jaspers.
Yeah, Jasper's doing a lot right in this game, shooting 58%. There's not many battles they're losing, but as you mentioned, the rebound battle is in the favor of the Stags tonight, and I give so much credit of that to Prophet Johnson, who has actually already put himself at a double-double with 17 points and 10 rebounds. His effort tonight has been unmatched. I think on the court he has just been the leader for the Stags. He's been making those tough, gritty plays, putting himself in the right position. As the Stags look to return here, it's Dion Terry, Peyton Smith, Jamie Bergens, Prophet Johnson, and Louis Bleachmore on the court as Manhattan breaks the huddle, bringing out their 5 here. See if they come out in the full court press.
Yeah, we got to see Perry get going here. He's not had too much of a handprint on this game so far, and whether it's doing it through his three-point shot or facilitation, he's got to be able to do something.
And Perry will be the one to inbound it, and he'll take it back on the screen. And he'll be defended by Dinkins here. That's his matchup top of the key. Drives him with the left, takes a mid-range shot, and it won't fall. Bergens going for that rebound. Got it, corrals it, brings it, takes the 3, can't get it. Rebound Smith on the baseline. Can he stay in bounds? Yes. And the Stags will have a third chance here at this possession. Johnson takes the 3, can't get it. Rebound. Bleachmore went for a stab at it and ends up drawing a foul.
So you get 3 opportunities, and you got 3 good shots, but they were all 3-pointers. you got to be able to drive. You had Louis Bleachmore was wide open down low in the paint and just couldn't find him, and then you took a three instead. So the only people on the floor that should be taking that three-pointer consistently is Johnson and Perry and occasionally Bergens. But when Bergens got that steal, he just took the three, and he had a paint presence with Smith. So got to be able to take the higher percentage shots. And I sound like a broken record, but read the game better.
On the other end of the court here, it's a three-point attempt for Sidnor. He'll turn it down, drive in. Smith got a piece of Sidnor and the ball. That'll send him to the line there.
Yeah, I mean, again, Bleachmore jumped on Sidnor, who's not an excellent three-point shooter by no means, and gave him a free run at the basket. And that's the second time Smith's been kind of caught in no man's land and trying to do the best he can. So, again, knowing the game, Bleachmore, an experienced guy. He's a grad student. He's played at two schools, St. Joe's, and obviously here at Fairfield. So, got to be able just to stay down, right, and just do the simple things well. And they've been doing good things well. They just got to do the easier things better, which is kind of weird and redundant to say.
Sidnor hits them both. That'll bring him to 10. He's kind of had a quiet day for someone that you come into this game with an eye on, but still a very solid impact for his team as they lead 49-42. The Stags offense has kind of dwindled here in the last few minutes. See if Perry can spark it. Swinging it around, it's Bleachmore. Back to Perry. Perry's got some space up top. Kick it to Bergens. They're stuck up top the key here. 8 to shoot. Johnson's got it inside. He'll take a long mid-range and can't catch iron there as that ball is out of bounds and heading the other way.
Yeah, again, not a great possession. The zone look. So one thing that I would like to see the Stags do is I want to see Smith and Bleachmore recycle. They're kind of just staying stagnant. They're just going with the ball, which is allowing them to go with that Jasper defense. So, again, throw a couple new bodies, a couple different looks to try to cause some confusion for Manhattan.
Manhattan, Bender, riding through, finds a nice pass inside. Couldn't really handle it. Back up. No good right there. Opportunity wasted by Robinson. And Bergens with the travel. Trying to step around the defender Gilliard there and finds himself with a turnover. It's his third of the night.
Yeah, it's the Stags' ninth, right? You already have two quick ones in the first 10 minutes of the half, so got to be able to quiet down here and settle as Kyle Jenkins is going to check back in here at the next stoppage.
Dinkins on the wing, defended by Bleachmore, quickly doubled inside Sidnor. He's got space and time, and he lays it in for two as the lead grows to 9 for the Jaspers. Johnson to bring it up. Over the middle to Bergens. Bergens one-on-one in the paint. Spins, kicks it back out, creates space for Bleachmore for three. Got it.
Yeah. Good rotation. That's a good shot for Bleachmore. That straight-on three-pointer is one he can take. The other four real spots on the floor are not really his expertise. So, again, way to get him in position Bleachmore is, and then Bergens did a good job to jump stop in the paint as Johnson tips it away but can't save it. So, again, good offensive possessions, but also they've been good on the defensive side of the ball the Stags have. So, again, just kind of putting the two together is a recipe for success, I believe.
It'll stay with the Manhattan ball, as you mentioned. Johnson right there almost had the steal, couldn't quite keep it in bounds, so they'll take it side out, and they'll drop it off to Dinkins as Perry will defend him top of the key. Dinkins moving around onto the wing, switches on to Jenkins. They'll give it inside Sidnor. He's got the matchup he wants. Smith goes to help. They swing it around the key. Bender fakes the three, back over, swings it around. Dinkins takes the mid-range shot and knocks it down. Great ball movement by the Jaspers.
Yeah, not bad, though, from the Stags on defense. Good rotation, just kind of fell apart with Dinkins taking that mid-range, but there were 4 opportunities for three-pointers that they closed out pretty well. So, again, you just got to put it all together now. You're doing things better and better. You just got to do all the things well at some point in this game.
Deion Perry, top of the key, launches one and connects.
Might be Perry's time, Kyle. Might be. You know, he's got his first bucket of the game, and we know once he gets going, there's no stopping him.
Second half, Deion Perry, even in the games where he drops 20 points, majority of that has come in the second half. So with that shot right there, we'll see if he's going to keep testing the water with his shots. But obviously you can't maintain that. As Sidnor on the wing tries to answer, can't get it, and a beautiful putback by Gilliard.
Yeah, you can't have guards going up and getting free runs at the rim to put them back in. So, again, got the shot they wanted with Sidnor taking the three-pointer, but then you had Gilman trying to go in and get the two, and he did just that.
Hayden Smith working baseline, defended by Robinson. Gets his way in, and a foul called.
Excuse me, that's Gilliard that is down there. So it looks like Ljubic is going to check back in, the freshman from Croatia. He's going to take out Looks like Sidnard.
Or
Sidnor, excuse me.
I think Cinder's standing on the court. Robinson heading to the bench.
Oh, my apologies.
But with Robinson off the court right now, that's actually a presence that could help the Stags working down low as Perry runs the baseline, finds a cutter, and another foul here. As Bergens was cutting inside right there, got the ball poked loose by Manhattan. That one goes against Shaquille Bender of the Jaspers. So they quickly grab 2 fouls, and they'll do it again. Inbounded to Peyton Smith. Top of the key, Johnson. Dion Perry working on the wing. Drives in, kicks it to Smith. Lost control, and handled by Dinkins. He'll bring it down. 2-on-1. The lob can't finish. A bit too fancy right there. Trying to give it to Sidnor, and that'll send us to a timeout. Stags trail 55-48.
Yeah, if you're Perry there in the paint, you did a good job to get just about all the way to the rim, but it's got to be a bounce pass if you're going to make the pass at all against the group of 3 forwards for the Jaspers. So, again, good momentum for the Stags, still within striking distance. That 7-point deficit right now, but if you are Chris Casey, you just have to find a way to minimize the turnovers. And it's not even a passing at this point. We're trying to dribble too much. You can't dribble through a zone. If you dribble on the outside of the zone, they're going to press a little bit, which allows rotations into zone coverage as well. So you just got to find a way to make a difference here in this game. And I think it's going to be Dion Perry that's going to have to do it here towards the end of the game.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be Dion Perry in the paint, right? Dion Perry from 3 is not going to win you the game. He's got to work his way into the paint, be that relentless finisher that we've seen as the half-court attempt here at Mahoney. Falls just short right there, hitting the nylon, but just a bit short.
Yeah, Gilliard and Sidnor got to be minimized as well. They've had big impacts on this game. So Gilliard can't get free runs at the rim, and he's so athletic that he's going to be able to dunk that home given the opportunity. And Sidnor taking a three-pointer is something you'll live with, but you got to give him a hand. You just can't give him 2 feet. So it's, again, small adjustments, which is the positive, but at the other hand, there's a lot of small adjustments to make. So you're not all going to make them in 1 2-minute and 30-second timeout, but you can at least tackle 2 of the big ones and try to move forward and get yourself a win and then move your way into practice this week.
Yeah, you mentioned Gilliard. He's having a fantastic night, 18 points, 6 of 7 shooting. He has just been strong for this team on the offensive end, kind of running through the Stags. He's been loving that baseline drive, right hand, works his way through either through a screen or just straight contact. Stags have to limit him here in the back half of the second half. So they're not trailing by too much, right? This is doable, but like you said, people got to step up. Could be Dion Perry. Maybe we see Braden Sparks. He hasn't taken a shot since the first half, which was kind of unexpected since he ended on that strong note. Know he's got the chip on the shoulder, but we'll see who the hero could be as the teams head back onto the court.
Yeah, it's big down the stretch, right? It's big to be able to try to find a way and some momentum. And for really both teams, obviously the Jaspers are 12-10, so that's a positive record, but they're both kind of floating in the bottom of the conference a little bit. Jaspers towards the middle. The Stags are currently tied for 10th. So, again, you just got to find a way to win this game because if you lose it, you're possibly out of playoff contention for today at least. So, got to try to stay in at all times because it's a new format this year. 3 teams don't make the MAC tournament, and the Stags are in danger of being one of them right now.
Dion Perry trying to spark the comeback here. Kicks it over to Jenkins. He's at the logo. Again, we want to see that drive from Dion Perry here. Don't settle for the threes as he kicks over to Johnson. Back to Perry, back to Johnson.
Got to have somebody check into the middle here.
Just 10 on the clock. Time is winding. Fairfield can't find a shot. Jenkins in the corner. Rolls out right there. Tough luck as he's trying to defend Sidnor on the other end. He swipes at him and gets the foul. Probably the right play. Sidnor had the lane, would have knocked it down, but Fairfield's at 5 fouls now after that, so can't keep that up.
You got to find a way. There's no reason when you're playing zone offense when you either have 4 or 5 out on the perimeter to not get back on defense in transition. And then back on the offensive side of the ball, you got to have somebody run the paint somewhere in that zone coverage. As Dinkin takes a jab step and knocks down a 3 on Perry. So, again, it's a 58-48 game now. And the Stags are running out of chances with 11:09 to go.
Yeah, down double digits now. They haven't been down there in a while. Dinkins was just too much space there on the parry jab step. Stags need an answer. Bergens tries to gab it. Can't quite get it. Too strong right there on the heave. And the Stags trail by 10 here. Just under 11 minutes to play. It's Dinkins at the top of the key. Sidnor giving him the space here. Calls him back. Uses the screen to the left. He'll dive in, dip out. Jenkins switches on to him. Up top, Gilliard. Here he comes to the right hand. Settles for the mid-range. Bounces out. And Smith with the rebound. Parry the other way for the Stags. Takes the Peyton Smith screen. Dives into the defense. And bounce passes back out. Almost stolen. Jenkins gets it back to him. Jenkins now with the ball. Top of the key inside. Bounce pass. Almost swiped away. Perry steps through. Passes in. Blocked there on the layup attempt. And here come the Jaspers the other way. Bender throws it down and gets the favorable bounce. Not your typical dunk, but it counts nonetheless.
Got to get back if you're the Stags. Timeout from Coach Casey here. So, again, now you're down 12 and really in no man's land and kind of in the basement here. So you got to find a way to, if you're not going to win the game, you got to find some momentum. And that's not just to say that they're out of it. There's still a chance, but you got to find ways to get back on defense because we're shooting the three. There's long rebounds that we're not winning on the offensive glass. Then you guys have two guys leak like Gilliard did right there. So, again, you got to just be a little bit more aware of the situation and where you're at here in the season in mid-February.
21-15 is the split here on the second half. It was riding pretty back and forth until that last 7-0 run by Manhattan. Fairfield finding themselves again in that scoring drought. 3 minutes. We talked about it before the game. It's what kills them. It's the droughts. It's just not consistent offense, not finding a shot. And I'm going to assume they're going to come out here with probably a different look than the last 5 we saw. Again, Johnson just been leading the way for the team with 17. Sparks with 9, Bleachmore with 6, but it's been pretty one-sided, one guy dominating. When you look at the other side with Manhattan, you have 4 players in double figures with Bender, Sidnor, Gilliard, and Winston. So that's what you want to try to replicate if you're the Stags.
Yeah, you want to replicate it, but you got to be able to find those easier baskets, right? They've been getting it done from inside and out. We got to get it done from the inside more primarily because the outside shot, as we mentioned, when they started 2 for 3, really did slow down. And the Stags got to find a way to get up point. They're on a 3-minute and 5-second scoring drought, and at a time like this, when you need points, that just cannot happen if you're Coach Casey's team.
Yeah, Coach Casey right now talking with the team, just trying to get morale, I think, in line. Like you said earlier, got to be calm, right? It's not an ideal situation to be in. You're down 12 at half. In a game, you're down 12 halfway through the second half here. You got to get guys in the right mindset. This team can make this comeback. This team can make the right plays, but it's just about not getting in your head. Don't make the mental errors. Don't give this team points that we don't need to give them.
Right, and you also have 2 timeouts if you need them in case some of those runs happen again. I mentioned at the end of the first half, the magic number was 62. The Jaspers are currently at 60. So the Stags at 48, so they're 14 behind that pace. So you got to find a way to get some rhythm. I don't think there's been a lot of it because we've seen, we get 5 points and they put up 10 more. So we have to find a way to go in our run of our own late here in the second half. So, again, take the first 2 to 3 minutes, get into an offense, get some paint presence, kick them out for some three-pointers to people that can shoot it at an efficient rate, and for people that cannot, maybe look for a better option. You're giving up a good shot for a great shot at this point.
Looks like Stags are ready to go. It'll be Sparks, Jenkins, Smith, Johnson, and Bergens. So Deion Perry comes out. Only saw 3 points today on the 7 minutes. Just not much Deion Perry action today from Chris Casey.
Yeah, I think he tried to ride Braden Sparks here in the second half, and he's obviously played substantial minutes in the first. So he's back in with the ball now, so we'll see what he can do against the same zone coverage he struggled with in the first half.
Prophet Johnson dishing inside, and a quick 2 for Peyton Smith. That's what you like to see.
Indeed it is. Two paint touches leads to 2 points.
Now on the defensive end, Stags need to step it up. It's Winston with the ball. Kicks it off to Sidnor, drops it back to him. Sparks defending him. Comes up to him, not giving him much space. Got to give this team some pressure. Dinkins with the ball. Drop pass to Sidnor. Jenkins defending. Keeping him honest here with that left hand. Drives in, had some space. Throws it across. Winston for 3. Can't get it. Rebound tipped up. and Smith grabs it. Now the other way, it's Bergens. Trying to go coast to coast, drops it off. Prophet Johnson rolls in.
That's 4 in a row if you're Chris Casey's team. So, again, 2 layups. Got to find a way to get out in transition after 2 good defensive possessions.
Winston on the other end. Jaspers need an answer. Moving it around here. Gilliard. Gotta limit the drive for the Stags who keep this team outside the perimeter. Screen incoming. The corner pass to Winston. Jab steps in. Back out. Dinkins lost control. Moves it in. Sparks with great defense off the glass. And a foul as 2 players hit the floor, Gilliard and Bergens.
Yeah, Gilliard took a foul there as well, so not great if you're the Jaspers. However, for the Stags, this is good momentum. You're only down 8 when you came out of the timeout, down 12. So 2 timeouts, 8:41 to go. Plenty of time to try to find something and dig deep and get a win here on your home floor.
Stags trail by 8 here, 8:30 to play. Sparks bringing it up, orchestrating the offense. They got it up top to Bergens. He'll swing it to Sparks. Back to Bergens. Bergens kicks it inside. It's poked away, trying to be saved. Ball's fought for. And jump ball call there on the side with Jenkins and Gilliard battling for it. That one got caught, I think, under the leg.
That was definitely an awkward exchange between Gilliard and Jenkins, but it came from a very simple mistake. The Stags tried to, again, have a chest pass inside the paint. It got deflected, as it probably should, and then you get a tie-up, which leads to a turnover.
See if they can use that turnover here if you're the Jaspers. On the other end, they need a bucket. Kicks it into the corner. Driving in is Robinson. Lost control. Foul. Johnson pleading for a tip there, but that'll be going against them there. That'll be their 5th. Or no, that'll be their 6th after it updates. So Stags got to watch their fouls here.
Well, they just got to stay in front. They're overcommitting on that three-point line, which is leading to dribble drive penetration for the Jaspers. So stay in front, stay square, and you'll be okay.
So if the Stags are able to maintain that here, a lot of dribbles from Dinkins, passes inside Robinson, tough angle, able to finish there for 2.
Defensive breakdown for the Stags, lead to a 10-point deficit that they faced just a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, it's just playing the story of this game. You blink your eye, and there's another run, and just like that, oh, wow, Kyle Jenkins throws it down the other end. I was going to say the progress just gets deleted just like that the Fairfield Stags worked so hard to get. That was a great find right there inside to Jenkins. That's where you want to be in that dunker spot right there. So that makes the Stags 3 of their last 3, but got to play strong in the defensive end if you want to come back.
Yeah, defense is the name of the game for the last 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Keep him outside the wing right now. Into the corner, Winston. Defended by Johnson. Curling it around. 7 to shoot. Takes a screen. Doubled. Inside pass. Robinson handles it. Too strong off the glass, and the putback from Sidnor is good. It's another putback for the Jaspers in this game where they're just crashing the board at the right time and able to elevate and get a 2.
Yeah, indeed they are. And Manhattan actually was weirdly spaced. They had 3 guys within 10 feet, 2 of which were within 3 feet. So, again, we took the weird spacing. Sparks got lost underneath the basket because of that Jaspers spacing. So, again, this Bleachmore's going to check in for Coach Casey's team when they come back on the floor. You got to be able to just focus on what you're doing. It looks like we're getting caught in what the Jaspers are doing and their kind of dribble drive rotations, their kickouts. They're just over-committing on defense. Got to be able to stay square and just stick to what we do best because in the half court, this defense is solid. It's being able to contest shots and being able to make it difficult for opposing teams to score in relatively 64 points. Not too bad for that Stags defense so far in this one.
No, and I mean, there's been plenty of times where this team looks like they have it. They're getting the shots they want, and we've seen it with their last 3 possessions, right? You get inside the paint, you get that high percentage shot, and you knock it down. But we're going to have to play really strong defense against an extremely efficient offense here, right? They have plenty of guys to look at, but if you're going to lose to them, lose on the low percentage shots, right? We can't see more inside free buckets for guys like Bender and Gilliard, right? Trap that, keep them outside, and do your best to limit those easy buckets.
Well, and force guys for the Jaspers, if you're going to allow easy baskets, to make them, right? If you're going to let them get into the paint, don't let it be Gilliard or Sidnor or anybody like that. So you got to let some of the bench guys score those points. You got to be able to minimize the biggest threat on the floor, and we're just not doing that so far throughout the first first half and the additional 10 minutes. So you got to be able for the last 7 minutes to stay strong, do everything you can to minimize it. They're not going to stay off the scoreboard. It's not going to happen. But neither are you. You put up 54 points, which is a respectable number, and you still have 7 minutes to go. So that's a lot of positive for Coach Casey's team. But on the other side of things, there are a bunch of small things that got to be figured out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Manhattan's rotation, and other guys you got to give it to. Almost not too many options. They've only played 7 guys today. A few guys you would look at are Lubicic hasn't dropped any points today. Been kind of silent, but you look at guys like Robinson, Dinkins, force them to take those shots because you're going to get that familiarity, right? The Stags have rolled out 10 different players tonight. So they're mixing it up a bit. Manhattan staying very consistent, a team that's used the same 5 starters in all their games this year. So they know their team, they know what they're comfortable with. And the Stags have already played this team. They played this team back in January and took it home in an overtime win. So they know this team. They know what it takes to be in a close game with them and win it. So we're returning here, 7 minutes, 10-point game. We'll see if the Stags offense can get hot.
Find easy baskets, something that's within 10 feet or less. The Stags are extremely efficient in anything outside of that. They really do struggle. So, again, they found it looks like Reek's in the game now, and so is Bleachmore with the addition of Bergens and Johnson and Kyle Jenkins. 5 guys that can shoot it pretty efficiently. As Kyle Jenkins goes for the post-up, the foul is going to go on Gilliard. So, that is Robinson. He's going to pick up the foul. So, again, you're going to get that paint presence. Jenkins got 1 foot in there, but at least something within 10 feet.
Another chance here. They'll take it behind the basket. It'll be Bergens to inbound. And he'll look to Jenkins on the side for the inbound to pass out. Reek, corner 3. He'll launch it. Can't get it. Rebound fought for and corralled by Bender.
Yeah, that's a wide open shot. You take those at this point in the game.
Yeah, he's been very confident in his 3 tonight. We saw him take that transition run. So you knew that one was going up. Just unfortunate he couldn't knock it down. See if they can get a stop. Here's Robinson, spins on the baseline. Bleachmore working with him. Hands up, puts it over him with the right hand finish.
Bleachmore lucky he didn't get a foul call, too. He got him on the elbow.
Other end, it's Prophet Johnson drawing a foul. Wasted no time working his way into the defense.
It's like Gilliard's going to check back in. Big night for him. He is 18 off the bench. So, again, that's what the Jaspers have been doing all year is just finding ways to win in conference play, and they're doing so right here at Leo D. Mahoney Arena on this brisk Sunday afternoon.
Bergens on the inbound. He'll find Jenkins again. The drop pass fakes it. He'll work with Sidnor. Cross pass to Reek is deflected but saved by Bergens. Almost stole it again right there. Manhattan hungry for that steal as Reek drives in off the screen. 2-step, drop to Jenkins. Jenkins works into the paint, puts it up with the left hand for 2.
Yeah, well done by Kyle Jenkins right there. 4 paint touches leads to a left-hand layup. So, again, that is the key to the game. Pretty much any time they get into the paint, they're going to get an effective look. It doesn't always go down, but it's something you can build upon.
Stags defensively keeping Winston up top of the key right now. Manhattan taking their time, knowing the clock is on their side. Just 10 to shoot. Dinkins working with Bergens. Steps back, steps in. Pass over to Sidnor. A little too short, but he gets his own rebound, puts it back, and gets a foul. I think there was that Reek colliding with the ref right there.
Yeah, I mean, you get a good defensive stand by Jenkins, and then he doesn't see the ball and can't get the rebound, and it leads to a foul. So, again, Jenkins has been good in the last 5 minutes that he's played. So, again, just try to find a rhythm. It's just nothing that's really been put together. There's bits and pieces that are excellent. It's just you got to find a more smooth path to victory.
Yeah, these are just the possession like this. You're going to look at. You're going to say these are points we can't give up. Like you said, it's a shot that we didn't see the rebound on, and you let the guy who shot it get his own board as he misses the first there, which you'll take because this is a great free throw shooting team. But yeah, Sidnor, not a huge day. He's sitting at 13 points, 5 of 12 shooting, but he's been great on the board. 7 rebounds to his name, 3 on the offensive side of things. So he'll miss both, and Bleachmore will take the rebound, and the Stags get away with one there. As they try to answer on the offensive end, it's Reek, top of the key, right to left. Step back, kicks it Jenkins. He'll fire the 3 and can't connect. The battle for the board, poked loose by Reek, but found by Bender. And they'll bring it back up here as we cross just 5 minutes to play here in the second half. It's now or never for the Stags, trailing by 10. Here's Bender on the wing. Defended closely. Swiping at it, trying to get a look. Can't foul here, though. Bender works around, passes inside, taken away, but a foul is called.
Yeah, you just got to be able to work in that shot clock. They got the Jaspers 23 seconds in the shot clock, but you can't finish the possession, and you have to pull Sidnor's arm down just to find a way to stop the bleeding a little bit. So, again, on the other side of the court, not a really good possession. You got a Jenkins 3, which when he's hot, he's good. He hasn't hit one tonight, though, so you can't really keep taking it at this point. You got to find players that have the hot hand, like Johnson. Bergens can get it going. And then got to find Reek, got to get it going as well. As he gets the rebound, going to push the other way. Looked for Johnson, but Dinkins got back.
Yeah, Reek working in transition here, drives through. Reek's had that explosive first step all night as push foul there. It's going to stay with the Stags, I believe. That one goes against Shaquille Bender. He'll pick up another foul. Robinson comes in, and Sidnor heads to the bench for the Jaspers. It'll be an inbound behind the basket for Bergens here. Stags in dire need of a basket. Here's Jenkins. Up top, Prophet Johnson. He'll kick it over to Bergens. Moves in with the left. Ball is stripped away, and another foul.
Yeah, I mean, Bergens can shoot at the free throw line, too. He's been good all year, but here's my thing. That's the same set they've run on 3 under the basket plays. It's just that they kind of lob it up to Jenkins, whoever is the biggest, whether that's Smith or Bleachmore, and they just try to rotate the smallest guy on the floor to the three-point line. That time it was Bergens, who eventually did get the ball and got into the paint, but you got to switch it up here if you're the Stags. You definitely have a couple more in your back pocket, and maybe it catches the Jaspers off guard as Bergens goes to the line down 10.
Yeah, see if we can knock down these two here. This has been a very stagnant game right now. We've seen probably the last 4 or 5 possessions end in a whistle. Can't really find time to get momentum, and that's a tough thing. If you're the Stags, right, you want to find momentum, but the whistle can stop you. There could be a timeout. So it's going to be tough for them to find consistency here in these last 4 minutes. It's going to take the whole team effort as Bergens looks to hit them both, and he will. That'll bring him to 58. As Winston takes the inbound, and he'll take his time bringing it up here for the Jaspers. Again, they know they have that clock on their side, so they're in no rush to put up a bad shot. Gilliard swings it across to Winston up top. Robinson. Now it's Dinkins, top of the key, defended by Jenkins. Hand right on him. He'll drive through, put it up, and can't get it. Rebound Jenkins over to Reek. Stags here in transition. Ill-advised pass by Reek, trying to find a cutting Bleachmore. And it's a quick turnover there. And here's Dinkins now, slowly bringing it up past half court.
Coach Casey pointed out just to use your head a little bit, and I think he's absolutely right. Just smarter plays are going to get you across the finish line here, whether it's a close game or a result in victory. As that ball's thrown away, and Johnson knocks it out of bounds, I think. They're going to give it to Stags, though. Jasper Faithful not happy.
Yeah, interesting play right there. Dinkins driving baseline, tried to kick it out, poked loose. I'm not sure what you saw, but I don't know if this one's going to stay with the Stags. That might have been off of the leg of Prophet Johnson.
I tend to agree, Kyle. I mean, they're not reviewing it, so it looked like both officials were pretty adamant about the call. So, as Coach John Gallagher makes his case right now, for me, if you're Coach Casey, you're still down a good amount. It's 8 right now. It's been at most 12 at one point. So you got to find a way to get something going. Whether you have the ball coming out of the break or not, you got to be able to just stay tall and be poised in what you're doing. Right? For Coach Casey's team, it's not turning over the basketball. They have a ton. They're up to 12 right now. They had 7 at the break, so that's 5.5. So 5.5 where you're down 8 is not really a winning success. However, on the more positive side of things, you've held the Jaspers scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So you played good defense. You just got to now put it all together and put some baskets in the hoop. Right.
And as you were saying with Coach Casey, you got to use your head. No ill-advised. Like, we can't be forcing passes, right? We saw that pass in transition, trying to find Bleachmore. On paper, you think, easy idea, quick 2. But take your time with each possession. You have the time to, have enough possessions to be thoughtful and get this game back in your hands. But if we keep forcing things, it's not going to work out. And like I said, we want to find momentum. This is probably the chance coming out of this timeout, assuming we don't get sent to the line a few times. This might be the run that defines the game.
It might be, and it might be your last chance, as you mentioned. So you got to be able to hold the Jaspers to more of a – you're probably going to have to hold them for another 2.5 minutes to really try to make something happen here. 3 minutes, 38 seconds. In reality, the Jaspers really need 4 quality possessions that take more than 20 seconds off the shot clock to get to the finish line. So you're going to have to be aggressive but also stay poised as well.
Fairfield crowd still showing out here, giving a lot of support for their team on this brisk Sunday afternoon. Stags just going to need a lot of things to go right here in this next 4 minutes. I'm looking for Prophet Johnson. Been a bit quiet here in half number 2, but still shooting pretty efficiently. 8 of 15, 19 points with those 10 rebounds. So that's the guy I think can change the game here in these final few minutes.
Yeah, I think Johnson, I think Bleachmore could do it as well. Just doing some intangible things like good passing, not necessarily the assist, but maybe the hockey assist, if you will. A couple of rebounds here and there, and he's the guy that's really stepped up the last couple of years for the Stags. He did it big when they were in the tournament last year in New Jersey, and he really was able to parlay that when he started in late February to really move that momentum through the playoffs. So, again, he's the oldest guy on this team, I'm pretty sure. So, with the most experience, again, this is his final season. So, being able to use that as experience and then help his other teammates use it as well is big. And Prophet Johnson, like you mentioned, played a lot of college basketball. Sparks I wouldn't be surprised to see, but Bergens is in for him right now. Reich a little bit younger, still got some experience under his belt. And obviously Chris Jenkins, he's a grad student. So you got 3 guys right now that are grad students on the floor. So you've got to use that experience to get across the finish line.
We're underway here. Bergens takes the inbound from Johnson, trying to beat the trap here. Can't have any turnovers at this stage in the game, and they're able to get through it. Bergens top of the key, looking for Reek. Reek wants the screen. Nope. Prophet Johnson swings it around. Stuck up top of the key here. 10 to shoot. Stags need to find something. Kicks in the corner. Bleachmore for 3. Short.
It's a good shot, though, if you're Coach Chris Casey. With 3 minutes to go down 8, you take those open looks, even if it's not the highest percentage you could possibly find.
Defensive end here. Stags need to stop. 3 minutes on the clock. They trail by 8. Winston working with them. Looking for the Robinson screen. He'll take it and kick it to Robinson. Robinson drops it back off to Winston, who steps back. Long 3-point attempt. Glassing in.
Apparently the bank's open on Sunday afternoons here in Fairfield, Connecticut. That was just a robbery.
That's just a brutal fall right there for the Stags. Last thing you need. See if they can find an answer here. Johnson cuts in. Right-hand floater. Good.
Yeah, got to really match it, though. You got to find some ways to get stops here. And if you're going to give up 3-pointers, you kind of have to shoot them on the other end. But 2 will be just fine for now as you approach crunch time here in 2 minutes to go.
Winston holding it top of the key right here, taking his time with it. He's got that clock on his side, isolated right now at the top. Now he's got Robinson screening for him. The switch is on to Jenkins. Back to Robinson, finds a cutter inside. It's Bender, puts it up with 2 on him, and it goes.
Yeah, that might be the dagger if you're Manhattan. A really good finish over 2 defenders for the Jaspers.
Johnson trying to help. It's Jenkins on the 3, tipped, saved, back inside. Bleachmore fakes the pass, kicks it over. It's Reek for 3, gotta have it, can't, and a foul.
Looks like it's going to go against the Stags on the glass. I believe the Jaspers are in 1-1 as well, so they're going to shoot. So again, kind of a double kill there, if you will, for Chris Casey's team. And you're going to find a way here to at least get some momentum leading into next week to try to get a win somewhere else as well. So, again, chances aren't looking great, but we've seen some crazy things as Deion Perry hit a shot just 2 weeks ago to put the Stags over the top against Marist. So, again, maybe some magic, but also maybe just going to win it on some good quality basketball.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to take a lot of magic here, but you never know. A lot of crazy things have happened at Mahoney. First free throw is good for Gilliard. That'll extend it to 12.
Yeah, you're on the road at Ryder on Friday night in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, and you know that place is going to rock. So this is extra important to get this one, and you really need that one on Friday night. But again, you never know what can happen in this conference, but the Stags got to start stringing some wins together, and hopefully that can happen tonight. As an errant pass is lucky as Gilliard almost sealed the game with a steal, but he knocked it out of bounds instead.
So the Stags here gripping on to life, seeing if they can make something happen. 1:39 on the clock. They'll change the spot of the inbound here right in front of the Manhattan bench. After the tipped ball, they'll kick it inside Bergens, and he'll bring it up. Got to find a three here or just a really quick basket for the Stags. Bergens kind of stagnant, goes over to Prophet Johnson, works his way into the paint, and draws a foul.
Hey, Johnson's been the hero for the Stags, really keeping them in with 21 points and efficient, 9 of 16 from the floor. So got to hit both free throws here, good quality defensive possession, and go from there.
Yeah, like you said, hero of the game, Prophet Johnson. I think on a different night, maybe with some, like sidemen kind of keeping up with him. If any let's see if any other Stag had the double digits tonight. They did not. Sparks was close with 9, but didn't shoot the ball in the second half, actually. He never put one up, which is really curious, especially with the decision to keep Jenkins out with, how he's been shooting tonight. Deion Perry only saw a few minutes. It's an interesting rotation tonight, but put a lot of pressure on Prophet Johnson to really lead this team. As he does his best, he knocks down 2 right there, make it a 10-point game, and sends the teams to their respective benches to talk over the final minute and 30 of play.
Yeah, the Stags take one of their last 2 timeouts there, and as you mentioned, Johnson, the only one in double digits. It happened on Friday night in St. Peter's as well, except just an additional help from Bergens and Sparks led that charge. So they both had 11 over in New Jersey. So you got to find a way to have some more consistent scoring and not put it all on one person's back, right? We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Manhattan is more of a team effort in scoring. They had 19, 18, 17, and 15 from 4 out of the top 7 guys. And tonight, they're doing similar things, except it's 3 with Bender, Winston, and Gilliard coming off the bench with 19. So, again, they have more of a consistent attack. And it's really, you're kind of picking the lesser of 3 evils here, but they've all been pretty good tonight.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. This Manhattan team, when they play their game, it's tough to dictate defensively and switch them up because they have so many different ways to attack you. And the Stags just really weren't able to limit it when they needed. They had the chances, they presented themselves. There were times in this game where it was a striking distance. It just required a little bit of a run, but they kind of hit a rut at too many points in the game here. The second half, they trail by 4. It's 33-29. Similarly, in the first half, 39-33. So not too much of a change there in pace from either team.
Yeah, you're going to struggle when you give up 57% of your shots are going in against the Stags defense. So it's been a consistent problem all year. We mentioned it earlier in the night that this team is 12th in opponent field goal percentage, and the teams shoot 47.1% against this Fairfield team. So got to find a way to minimize that for the rest of the time here in the regular season and just really find a way to get into the postseason.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough journey for the Stags, but not an impossible one. See if this last minute and 30 can prove anything for them. As running on the inbound is Winston. Curls around, 2 Stags chasing, not fouling. And Jaspers will just hold it here at the wing. Stags desperate for the steal, the triple, the pass up top. Robinson handles it. The Jaspers are just working through the Stags right now. Just trying not to make any mental errors. 10 on the clock. High pass for Dinkins. Corner 3. Got it.
Yeah, that's the dagger if you are the Jaspers. And Coach Gallagher takes one of his last timeouts. 61 seconds. It's going to be interesting what Coach Casey does. Does he put, kind of his lower end guys on the bench in to send a message? Does he put his 5 starters back on the floor to get them some momentum? It's weird. You're kind of at a point in the season where you have only a handful of games left, so you got kind of have to have guys get some run, but also you don't want them to get hurt. So it'll be an interesting choice for Coach Chris Casey here, but the Stags got a lot of work to do, but I think there are some positives to harp on as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game where you come in, you're not necessarily, probably going to be the team to be favored, but, they put a good effort in, especially early in the game. We saw a lot of strong runs from them, but again, it's just that consistency. It's time and time again the thing I think the Stags just struggle with is consistent offense, getting those right shots. You've said it all the time, but, we want those paint touches. We want multiple guys touching the ball, moving it around, and we just didn't see that the whole game.
Yeah, we just didn't see a flow, right? We saw the Jaspers in a flow state the entire night. Is they're 3 of their last 3, but more importantly, 5 out of their last 7 over a longer stretch of time. So again, the Stags can be good when they're in more of a flow state, but more of the stagnant game is not their style. And I think when you have this handful of games left, you got to find your style and make your way into the postseason.
Bergens drops in a 2 as the Stags look to steal the inbound. Dinkins is able to handle it. They'll sprint across half court, give it up to Gilliard, and a 2-hand slam is the exclamation point on what was already pretty much a done-for game as Jenkins swings it into the corner. A 3-point attempt will fall for Braden Sparks, so he does get on the board here in that second half.
Yeah, would have loved to see him shoot it a little bit more in the half.
Exactly.
But again, it could be a confidence thing. Sparks hit his last 2 shots, both of them being 3-pointers, one at the end of the first half, one in the end of the second half. So again, there are some positive things. Sparks put up 12 tonight, Johnson 23. So again, another game where you have 2 members of your team in double figures, but it's clearly not going to be enough here for the Stags to prevail.
Stags will foul Dinkins there. They got 4 of them going for that steal, but weren't able to get it. And the Jaspers are doing a great job at moving the ball around here, just not making any arid passes. They've done a good job at the line as well, knocking down that one there.
Yeah, the Jaspers clearly deserve to win tonight. They just did better things better, if that makes sense. A little redundant there, but what I mean by that is they did the more important things much better. They shot the ball better. They were more consistent on defense, and ultimately they just stayed the course. They were playing their game, and they got the Stags to play the Jaspers style of basketball, and you're going to win if you force a team. The Sparks hoist the 3. It's rebounded by Gilliard going the other way. The Jaspers looks like they're just going to hold on to it.
Yeah.
As we go towards the finish line. So
and Bergens with a foul there at the end.
Looks like they're going to separate both teams with 12 seconds to go here. Again, you got to play your own style if you're the Stags. Is the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean that right there sends a message. I mean that's not what Coach Casey wants to see. Like, you can be emotional, but taking it out on the other team right there is not. It's just not the play. It doesn't send the right message to your team. It's not good locker room morale, right? If you're gonna send a message and you want to, show that emotion, show it on the court, show it on the defensive side of things. Not a cheap shot at a player.
Well, in all these, if the referees do deem this to be a technical foul, they add up. They can lead to suspensions. Obviously, we're going to the highest extreme here, but it's just not smart things to do when you're just 12.3 seconds left, and this game is out of reach. It's a 12-point contest, so again, it's just being smarter and really feeling out the game as the Jaspers are going to prevail here at the finish line. So again, the Jaspers are going to advance to 13-10, which is going to be good enough to stay in the middle of the pack. And depending on what happened in the Siena game tonight, it looked like they were up big when we first got on the broadcast, so they could fall into that 11th spot. So got to find a way to find some momentum and just build on it. You're not going to do it all in one. You're not going to have, at this point, a winning season. It is out of the picture, I believe, after tonight's loss. So find a way. All you got to do is get into that conference tournament, and magical things can happen once the calendar turns to March.
Yeah, I believe this one will push the Stags to 9-17. Just a game that they really wanted, but just couldn't quite maintain. And with just the last few seconds here, I mean, again, we saw that play from Bergens. I don't know if they're talking over with the coach right now.
I think they are. I think they gave Bergens a technical.
Yeah. So tech for Bergens to wrap up the game here. Manhattan will add a few more to their score.
They're shooting 2 here as well, so they'll get 2 opportunities at it to kind of strengthen things up. And I believe after the second free throw is made, the Jaspers are going to empty out the bench. John Gallagher's team putting out the victory crew after the second free throw is made. Coach Casey not happy talking to the far official. Winston misses the front half of 2. Stags back at it on Friday night. That one's over at, I believe it's Ryder in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. So, again, another road game. Stags 2-10 on the road. Got to try to get their 3rd win out there with not too much time left in the season.
Yeah, and you just got to use what went wrong today to help you in that game. Like you said, the team struggles on the road, but at this point, you you can't worry about things like that. You have to, you have to be calm. You said that, and the Stags, weren't really able to do that today, but you have some time between today and the next game. So just try to, balance yourself, work on your approach, as the Stags will fall here 80-67 at Mahoney. The Jaspers with a big win, and the Stags falling short on a game they really needed.
Yeah, they needed this one, and right, you can't look back at the past. This one's in the books. It's not changing. Your record is what it is right now, and you got to find a way to win as many games as possible. You have to have a couple of good practices this week, if not 3 or 4. Got to find a way just to get some momentum. Obviously not been able to put it together, getting wins here and there, but you got to string 3, 4, 5 wins together to really make an augmented push at it.
Thank you for everyone for tuning in today here on WVOF. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Logan Rundy. Stay connected here at WVOF. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and all our socials. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon.